Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of I Like Art podcast. My name is Sara Glupker, and I am really excited today to chat with somebody I recently collaborated with. Her name is Wendy Conklin. You're probably familiar with who she is. She goes under the name Chair Whimsy. And I am just so excited. We have about 30 minutes, so we're going to tackle probably a lot. Welcome, Wendy. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yay, I'm so excited and this is wonderful. I can't wait to share all the little things that you want to share with my listeners. So, when I usually introduce my guests, I read a whole bio and I felt like you had so much to unpack. Could you just briefly describe for anybody who's not familiar with you or maybe doesn't know all of your amazing things that you offer? Who are you? Just tell us a little bit about yourself and
Well,
all your offerings.
I can sum it up in one sentence. I
Perfect.
create I create fun, colorful chairs and I teach other people how to do that too. So that's basically me in a nutshell, but there's so much more too as well. Anybody who has any kind of business for any amount of time knows that things just happen and you're like, oh, I can do that too. And then you add it on to the pack. So not only do I create chairs for clients and I do mostly custom orders, I have online courses that teaches beginners how to do upholstery, just like what I do. And I also create a ton of content for, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube. So I stay very busy in that way as well. And that's most people's full-time job. So that's like the side business for me. But I also have a retreat that I hold with a friend of mine called Pink Creatives. And we do this once or twice a year. And we have one coming up in October, but it is a retreat that teaches creative people how to run their own creative business. And so, yeah, I do a lot of different things.
Yes, you do. I'm so inspired by what you do and your aesthetic. I love your whimsy. I definitely feel like my art and really speaks with your art and
Yeah.
they're like friends. And it's just so amazing to see all of the things that you do. You're so inspiring. All right, you're based out of Texas, but
Mhm.
this year you purchased a cabin in New York. So I just wanted to talk about that project that you have going on right now.
Right. So back in December of last year, we closed on a cabin. It's called a camp, which means it's a cabin that's only really open for the summer because the pipes would freeze if you had it open other year round, and it'd be way too cold in here.
Mhm.
But we purchased it in December, and the camp had just been renovated. He's actually our next door neighbor who renovated the place for us. The place was built in 1965, so it was in bad need of some renovation. So he came in, completely gutted it, renovated it, new flooring, new walls, plumbing, and all that. And so it's very woodsy. It's got a lot of wood all throughout. Has a little bit of drywall on the top of that, but a lot of beams and things. And so my goal was, when I came, I was like, okay, I want to see if I can transform a cabin into something whimsical and fun without painting any of the wood. And honestly, I didn't know if I could do it. This is one of those things as a creative, a risk, you take risks, and risk taking is key to being creative, I think. And so, I thought, well, I'm just going to take my followers along for the ride. They're going to see mistakes, they're going to see successes, hopefully. And I really honestly did not know how this was going to turn out. And so it was basically been a 3-month commitment. But immediately I opened a Pinterest page and I just started pouring ideas onto that page of, okay, I could do this here, I could do this here. Maybe I want these colors. I love this fabric. Can I use it? And so my mind just started going crazy with, okay, what are my ideas? And then I had to start narrowing down so that I could prepare. And so I only created, the dining chairs and the 2 living room chairs at home. And we came up a month early to drop off some furniture in a cargo van, to drop off a bed so that when we came back beginning of June, we just sleep here. So it's been a big, big project. I am at the tail end of it. We go home on Saturday, and we'll be back next summer. I've got more projects to do next summer outside the house, but it has been a lot of fun, and I'm so relieved that it has turned out good. I because you don't know when you start projects as a creative. You don't have a guarantee, but you have a guarantee if you want to show up and keep trying, right?
Hmm.
So that's kind of been my attitude. I'm going to play around and have a little bit of fun and enjoy doing a bunch of DIY projects, which is like my fun stuff that I like to do, just more than chairs. I like doing rooms, but I just don't have a lot of time when I'm at home to do that kind of stuff because I'm busy with chair orders.
Yeah. Oh, it's been really fun to watch. So, you have been
Mm-hmm.
releasing new episodes on your YouTube channel. I will have links in the show notes for people to check that out, and also your blog. And I highly recommend that you sign up for Wendy's newsletter. And it's been really fun watching the rooms transform. Also, I think it's really inspiring because I think that you do such a great job of using what you have or being
Mm-hmm.
creative. It's not all about buying a bunch of new things, like you said. You go to antique stores, you put things together, you paint some furniture pieces. And I just love how you are honoring all the things that are to your taste. And
Mm-hmm.
it's all about, it's not all about painting all the trim white. It's about working with what you
Right.
have. You have this beautiful cabin with some wood trim and details, and working with that. I think it's just been really fun and refreshing
Yeah.
to see
Mm-hmm.
your innovation. So I know that my listeners are going to love getting to know you more, seeing all of these creative ideas. And it's been so fun. One other thing I really love about you, Wendy, is you are very open to collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
And I pitched this idea to you. And I was so surprised when you said yes, but I said, oh, I really would love a chance to make something for your cabin space. And so, can we talk about that for a second? Because it's been
Yeah.
really fun. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So
you
go
go ahead.
ahead. Well, I was happy that you did, and I like to do collaborations with people that I feel like if their aesthetic fits mine, it can work so easy, right? And when we started talking about it, I was like, I have a guest bedroom, and that is my final room makeover in my cabin that's released now. And so I needed some art for the walls because it's a very long, long, long wall. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to do here. Do I hang a blanket? Do I put some windows up for decoration, or what do I do? And so when you pitched that, I thought, I could really use some amazing art for this long wall. And so that's kind of where we started. And I know that as an artist you were concerned about, well, like, what exactly do I want? Well, my goal, because I am an artist and I understand this, is to let the artist do their thing. Like, give them some rules, give them some boundaries. Okay, use something in this color palette, or give inspiration, but let go, because you get the person's best work when you do that, right? I mean, that's how I feel
Mhm.
anyway. So I didn't want to put a lot of rules on you, but I gave you some boundaries, I felt.
Mhm.
And then you
Yeah.
just went to town, which is really, I know it's scary for the artist sometimes, because you're worried, does the person, are they going to like it, or is it going to work, or what if
Mhm.
they don't like, that kind of thing. But I find that, I know how that feels to be in that spot, so I'm very compassionate and sympathetic, empathetic toward those feelings. But yeah, what you came up with were really fun, cute little houses. And so I had mentioned, because I knew that you were painting some houses, that you really found a lot of joy in creating these,
Mhm.
groups of houses all together that were really fun and colorful. And so I thought, well, all right, why don't you create like three different houses? Because
Mhm.
Saratoga Springs is very close to us, and I thought, they've got some cool houses there, all
Mhm.
colorful and things like that. And they're old. Just why don't we do that for this
Mhm.
room? And then that can help me with a jumping off color point for a dresser that was going to fit under your art, So it was a lot of fun. I don't know about you, what you
Mhm.
want to say about it.
It was really fun. A lot of my work in my business is custom commission work. So the painting behind me is a landscape of Northern Michigan. I'm delivering that
Mm,
tomorrow. And I love working with my collectors and my customers and creating it's like a co-collaboration. So taking your
mhm.
vision, taking my style, putting it together, it
Mm,
brings me so much
yeah,
joy and also allows me to lean into different styles and different creative challenges. And my brain just thrives off of challenge. So I love that
yeah.
so much. I would absolutely love to collaborate with you again someday. I was even thinking about fabric, Wendy.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. So I don't know if it was a good experience, get in touch
Oh,
with
it was.
and we created something for because they are your paintings, and I had so much fun
Yeah.
shipping them to you. And we have created an offer for everyone out there of prints. And I have small and large prints available that you can collect of these paintings. I actually have them right here, but
Yeah, those are awesome looking.
this is
Oh my gosh.
Tangerine Townhome, and I have the option to hand embellish. So I am willing to add some paint and some of my finishing so that they have some texture and they look like painted, uh, actually hand painted or paintings.
Yeah.
So much fun. I absolutely loved working with you, and I really appreciate the trust that you had in me and the amount of freedom. I've worked with a wide variety of clients, and sometimes their vision is more specific, and it is really fun when I have somebody say, "Just do what you want to do. It's going to be great." And it was such a beautiful experience. So thank you so much for that. And I
Hmm.
can't wait to ship these prints out. It's going to be so much fun and to see the end result of the room. I haven't even seen it yet. And that has
Hmm.
come out. So this episode's airing on Friday the 30th. But on Wednesday or Thursday this week, you're going to release the final room and the paintings are going to be in there. I can't wait to
Yeah.
see them. So I'll
Yeah.
have a link to that YouTube channel in the show notes. And why collaborate, Wendy? Why? Because I know you took a painting course this summer. Why? And you did put some of your paintings up in your
Hmm.
cabin. But what is the power of collaboration to you? Because you collaborate a lot.
Yeah.
With who
And,
you collaborate?
I do. And I collaborate only, like, I am picky though. Like, I only want to collaborate with people or businesses that have a similar design aesthetic. Like I don't want to just take something or use something from anyone, right? So
Mhm.
sometimes I reach out to the people to collaborate with me. Sometimes they do to me, and that works great too. Um, but I do think it's good for brands, both brands, because you get something to brag about and it helps boost your brand to another audience. I mean,
Mhm.
it really works both ways, especially if both brands kind of really are simpatico. If they're very,
Mhm.
very similar and can work really well together. I have found that it helps your brand. It gives you something to brag about. They get to brag about you. You get to brag about them. And so it's not all about me all the time, even though it is.
Yeah.
It's a way that you can kind of divert attention and work with others in that way. So it's something I really do enjoy doing.
A lot of magic happens too when you collaborate with another creative person. It seems like it can help you up level in a different way or learn something
Yeah.
new, and it can spark new ideas for new projects. I know that's happened for me. For instance, I had a friend ask me to paint birch trees for her wedding, and it sparked this whole line of birch tree paintings that are very popular with my collectors and
Yeah.
they love them. So you never know. You never know. The house paintings that I created for you, I'm going to be creating a series of smaller house paintings for a solo exhibition next fall. And it's just one of those things where that led to this, and it's going to help enrich my art practice even more. So, one
Hmm.
thing I love about you is you do offer a lot of, you teach, and you have your business and you style chairs and you're in design and you design spaces and you have this retreat. And how it's like when you get these, even with your cabin, you get this creative idea that you're going to put yourself up to totally renovating and designing the cabin in one summer and sharing it. That's a huge project. What do you do when you get
Yeah.
those new ideas? How do you say yes and not let yourself say, I'm already doing enough, or, gee, I have so many ideas and that's bad, or, how do you embrace
Right.
that side of you?
Yeah. So, like, I am the kind of person, believe it or not, I know, that I can only really focus on one thing at a time. And it is very hard for me if I have multiple things going all at once, like, right. So when I think about the next 3 to 6 months of my business, and that's really all I can plan in advance. Well, with the Taylor Swift chairs, I was planning 10 months in advance, but 3 to 6 months in advance is how I think about it. And I try to think about, okay, when is my course going to come out, and I need to reserve time to be able to promote that, and I don't do anything but that during that time. Or when am what chair orders do I have to do, and I have to block that time out and do. Coming to the cabin this summer, this was a 3 month stint that I knew I couldn't do any chairs while I was here. And I knew our cabin needed to be decorated, right? And I thought, let's just bring my family of followers along,
Mhm.
and let's just have some fun doing this. So I do try to be very careful about my scheduling, and not do a lot of new different things all at once. I could continue producing my Taylor Swift chairs. They were all finished
Mhm.
before I came to the cabin. I just had to leak out two more chairs of content, and then that's done. And now I'm gonna and that's coming back because I'm about to be on the cover of a magazine with my chairs, and I'm going to have an online auction where we're going to sell the chairs and give the money to charity, to a food shelter in my neighborhood.
That's
And so
amazing.
I've got to promote that. And so I'm looking ahead. So I'm looking
Mhm.
ahead for September. The magazine's going to come out. I'm going to do a TV spot right after that. And then I'm going to be promoting this online auction, which is going to happen in October. And so I kind of have to see what's my date, and I backtrack, from what needs to happen between now and then. It helps me with planning content too.
Mhm.
But I do not, I try to, one of my strengths is focus. And
Mm.
so it's in my top five. And so that's why if I have a lot of things going on that I have to be focused on, I get very stressed. So I try to keep everything very simple. And for this week, this is what I'm focused on. And I don't let anything detract me from it, so I do try to stay very focused. Like if someone, in the midst of doing my cabin this summer, if someone had come to me and said, Wendy, we want to do some kind of collaboration with you right now on producing your own fabric line, right now,
Mhm.
if that, oh my gosh, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have
Mhm.
done it, so thank goodness no one did. Now I would love to do that in the future, but that is not something that I could do right now.
Mhm.
So, but so I, believe it or not, I do try to keep things very simple and focused when
Okay.
I'm doing it. So October is busy with the auction. I do have two Pink Creatives retreats that are happening over a 3-day period each, and I'm traveling to another little conference for a day because I can only do a day. Like
Mhm.
it's just I have to limit my time. Because I know that I'll get stressed out,
Mhm.
so I do try to protect my time, but some days are longer than others. It just
Mhm.
depends. There's
Yeah.
no perfect schedule, going there. But I do really try to be thoughtful, and knowing where am I going to be in my happiest, because my creativity is best when I am happy, you know.
Mm. That's so good. So for
Mhm.
you to do your custom work with your chairs, do you fit that in between your commission work? I'm just asking as a selfishly, I want to know. For me
Mhm.
too, is that separate from these different types of launches or new things, or is it a certain period, like time of year, that you only do commission work? I don't know if that
No,
helps.
for me, like if a chair, almost every chair order I have is a custom piece.
Hmm.
And so they just come in when they come in. And I do try to be realistic with telling them when I can have it done, and when it can be shipped out. So I try to be very realistic with that. Because, yes, we all want it done tomorrow, but it's not going to
Hmm.
happen, right?
Right.
So, I learned a long time ago, because then that puts you under a lot of pressure, and you can't
Hmm.
fulfill it, right? So you
Hmm.
do have to be honest,
Hmm.
with your time frame and what you're able to do. But I find that most of my clients are okay with that. Now, if
Hmm.
someone needs something immediately, I will charge extra for a rush
Hmm.
order, and they get bumped to the top, and I will
Hmm.
do it.
Hmm.
I will do it for more money,
Hmm.
but it's significantly more money, that I will
Yeah.
do it for, not just a little bit. It's a lot. And that, then I'm okay with stressing out for a couple days trying to get something done,
Yes.
so I mean, I try just to, I mean, it's basically whenever an order comes in. So this summer I've had 3 chair orders come in, and I told them I can't get to anything until I'm back home in September, and they probably won't be done until the end of September. Are you
Hmm.
okay with that? And every one of them has said, oh, absolutely, yeah, that's great, because they want them. And so I think you just have to learn as a creative to speak up and to set those boundaries, to give yourself realistic deadlines of what you can get done. And
Hmm.
I mean, I think that's what works best for me,
Yeah.
honestly.
I love that.
Hmm.
Okay, I have so many things I want to touch on here, but I know you're going to have to come back to the podcast. But I have one question is I have professional artists who create and they sell or creatives. I also have people who are interested in being more creative. I think you're the perfect person to introduce you to even that audience, somebody who wants to create for the sake of creating and play. And you offer a DIY upholstery course, which I'm
Hmm.
enrolled in, and I have
Hmm.
big ideas for some chairs I want to create. And you have a book about creativity and play. I invite all of my listeners to go down the rabbit hole and really investigate all of these different types of offers that you have. Why? But I did want to ask you, what is the importance of play? Why do we play? Why is that important for us, whether to create, whether or not we want to sell the thing?
Right. I think it's for happiness. I mean, that's why I do it. I think my whole life, my whole being is what I what I think I realized in therapy last year was like
Hmm.
everything I do, I'm doing to be happier, to live a happier life, a happier life with meaning, right?
Hmm.
And so, um, I am in pursuit of living my best life, and I think play is a key part of feeling more joyful, feeling happier. Because let's face it, life is hard,
Hmm.
and we all have very sad things that happen. Some people have worse than others to deal with in life. And I find that if I'm going to be here on this earth, I want to live the happiest life that I can. And so I'm always in the pursuit of feeling more joyful, feeling happier. And so playing is a key part of that. And like we really, most of us have to schedule play in because we get so busy and we think, oh, well, I don't have time for that. But it is key to being more creative if you play, and your brain needs that break,
Hmm.
um, of just goofing off. And play is different for everybody. Like what's play for me might be work for you, and vice
Hmm.
versa. It's like that's not play for me. But play is the thing that you really want to do that you rarely make time to do. But that when you do it, you feel real happy about it. You feel
Hmm.
good. And so I really try to be mindful, especially because I know that like my job and everything that I do is really revolves around being really creative
Hmm.
and coming up with something unusual or delightful or, an amazing combination. And so and I've learned this summer from taking art painting lessons is that I produce my best stuff when I'm just kind of playing around and I act like a
Hmm.
kid. Like in my
Hmm.
head, I'm just playing around. It's not serious. And that has helped me to tap into that inner child,
Hmm.
when the art can
Hmm.
come out, all about that. So, I mean, I think play is so important, not only to our creative endeavors and what we produce as products, but to our overall state of mind and happiness and satisfaction in life. Not every day is happy, but I think at the end of the day, we all want to feel satisfied. And I think that's a worthy goal. And I think play can help us get there.
Oh, I love that so much. Thank you for sharing. That was beautiful and
Mm-hmm.
so needed, I think. We all take
Yeah.
our lives so seriously, and we need this play and whimsy
Mm-hmm.
and joy and happiness. I love that so much. Okay, real quick, I know you got to get going. What is a dream collaboration project for you? You're coming home from New York, you've been busy all summer. You might need to go home and take a little bit of a nap, but then what's next? What's exciting for you? What are you dreaming of?
Yeah, I would so love someday to have two things. I would love to have like a chair line in,
Mm,
like, if I could have it my way, it would be a whimsical chair line at Target. That's what I would love.
yes.
Um, just for the masses, that so
Hmm.
they could have joyful, happy things too. And then second, I think I would love to have my own fabric and wallpaper line, from
Mm,
my own art. I would
hmm.
love to be able to, if I can get good enough at my art, um, and produce some things that I'm really proud of, that I think resonates with other people. I think that that would be a really fun
Yes.
collaboration. So I would love something like that. Like a dream would be like Schumacher or another big
Ooh.
brand fabric line. I would love, love, love that. But those are in my
Mm.
dreams.
I see both of those things happening. So I
Well,
love that
if
you
you
spoke
say
it out
so.
into the world. No, I can see I can see it, Wendy. I think that you are only going up from here. You're soaring. It's amazing. So you have an upcoming retreat, Pink Creatives Retreat. You're also speaking at Art Biz Jam. Both events, I'm like, oh, I wish the universe would line up and I could go maybe
Yeah.
next time. But anything else you want to share before we go that's coming up? I want my listeners to definitely go check out your book. We didn't even talk about that. Your Taylor Swift
Yeah.
musical chairs, your YouTube channel, which is so wonderful. And I love watching your videos. What do you want to talk about before you get going?
Well, I guess I'll mention something else. If anybody wants to learn how to do fun chairs, I have an online upholstery course for beginners, and I have a wait list on my website, and it's chairwhimsy.com/course. And that will, teach you how to do chairs just like what I do, simple French armchairs, dining room chairs. And it's amazing how you can just change a space just by doing your own chairs, and how you can save so much money rather than sending them to an upholsterer. So, like, the course pays for itself over and over and over again. And I've had a lot of people who take my course and end up making their own business from it, selling chairs. And so, I would say, if you're ever interested, you have that itch to learn, you just want to redo your own chairs, whatever it might be,
Mhm.
jump into my course.
I love that. Well, thank you so much, Wendy. I think that you shared a lot in a half hour, and I so appreciate your time. And working
Mhm.
with you was a dream, and I can't wait to reveal and see the space and all of that. So, thank you again for being here today on the podcast. That just means so
Ah,
much. I know my listeners are going to absolutely love listening to this and learning more about you. So, thank you again. And for those of you listening, go check out Wendy Conklin, Cheer Whimsy. She is amazing. And even watching her content is going to make you happy. And just the amount of um, creativity and bright colors, it's just going to make you feel so good. And your content really does inspire. So thank you so much for doing that, Wendy. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'll be here back next week with a new episode of I Like Art podcast. And thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful day. Bye, Wendy. Bye, everybody.
bye.